Alrighty, everybody, we're gonna do this.
Yeah, let's go.
Yep.
Hello again. After a bunch of technical difficulties, we got a new ecosystem where all our faces are here. So what I love about this community, why I'm still in Draft League 2 years in, is that everybody's so positive, supported. As I pulled my hair out trying to get all the audio and video to work, everybody was just having a good time, drinking the beers. Who wants to introduce themselves first? Shall we go in order from Colby, the new guy?
Sure. Hi, I'm Colby. I'm Code Dameron. I'm here to play some Pokemon. I'm here to get competitive. I'm here to go hard.
Let's get it.
Who's next? Is it me? I can't tell because I'm in a different order, but I'll go anyway. So I am Sukaba. This technical difficulty gap, it was planned, you see, because now we're all a couple more drinks deep. So this is gonna be fun. We're gonna be cooking here. So I'm excited to get into this Chien-Pao division.
Thank you, Sukaba.
I'll go next. I'm the man that needs no introduction. Ooh. Right, I'm going to give you one anyway. How much time do I have, Jordan? 10 minutes?
I'm going to mark the point where we actually start, so some people might be skipping this. It's fine. It's going to be great.
This is the best part. I'm Daddy, and I make it to playoffs occasionally and then lose in the first round. And I'm going to give you some really hot takes today. Be ready to get yourself put in D tier, okay?
Poppin', what's up?
Hi, everybody. I'm Poppin'. I've had a bit more than I expected tonight. I'm here. I forgot to show you guys this earlier. I have a real-life primer pog.
Ooh.
And that shit.
All right.
Yo, where can I buy that? Send a link.
Link will be in the chat, video description. But we're here. We're going to have a great time. We're going to talk about some teams, and we're going to be spilling hot takes left and right.
Who else
Who's up
next? Hey, Goose.
Hey, happy to be back. I'm the guy who gets 2-0 by Poppin' every season. Happy to be here.
And Boom, what's up?
What's up, Boom? Just looking to get some insight on some of these teams and have a good time here.
Check out the other video with Boom's spicy team. This is my division, so give me some hot goss on these teams. What makes a good Draft League team, in a couple of words? In
Versatility.
Gen 9? Mm-hmm.
Speed control.
Broken numbers, big numbers. I like big numbers a lot more than
Synergy.
small numbers.
I'll throw synergy
I like
out
small
there.
numbers too. I like small speed numbers.
Well, that can be good situationally, but
Big, dumb attacking moves. Headlong rush. Close combat.
Also, this might be a spicy take, but I think having offensive coverage is better in Gen 9 since you can activate stab on those with Terra.
it's good to not have to rely on Terra Blast.
I'll raise you one higher. Offensive coverage is more important than ever because if everything's every type, you need to be able to cover every type. Bingo.
Oh, that's we're playing 4D chess now. Look at this.
Yeah, Terra Blast can only take you so far. You need some other moves. And so, speaking of big freaking numbers, the Iron Hands, I've already fought it in another draft league. It's just really, really tough because it just comes out of the gate. This is, by the way, Furret Bang and the Proud Palafins. Welcome back, Furret. Iron Hands just comes out and it's immediately good on offense and defense, and it can set up, it's already good, but we got the Amoonguss here to help it get a belly drum or a sword stance. It's just such an immediate threat, and I think it's the main piece on this team, but I do like some of the other pieces. I mean, Rotoms, we all have played with Rotoms. The Tauroses were really good in the first Gen 9 Draft League season. So we've got some premium pieces. Is this overall a good team, or is it a couple of great pieces? That's my question.
I think this team is fantastic. I think the defensive core of Amoonguss, Tauros, Rotom, Iron Hands, and then even with the Mimikyu Gudra is terrifying. I think there's double Intimidate here. I think this team is not the fastest, but very hard to kill and has serious threats.
Does it do enough damage though? That's kind of my concern when I look at this team. Iron Hands, is going to chunk you down for sure. But other than that, where's the damage coming from?
Yeah,
that's fair. Yeah,
that's valid, especially on Mimikyu's front, because I feel like as somebody that's previously drafted Mimikyu and been burned, this mon left a sour taste in my mouth. Because ideally, you're seeing all this offensive threat, and you're like, oh my god, it's got play rough, it's got Ghost, but then you look at it, it's you're shadow sneaking and play roughing, and the base stat total is only 90, so it doesn't feel as strong as you theorize.
It's pretty disappointing in practice. I think it's better a support piece that does a little bit of damage.
Exactly. Yeah. So I do agree with your worry about the offensive output, especially since Gudra's not really known for its strong offensive output, even though it has the stats to back it up. like 100, 110. I don't know. I feel like Gudra's more of a defensive piece. Maybe that's just my experience with it. But
okay, so y'all called it. We don't have a lot of great speed numbers out of the gate. We don't have huge damage numbers with the exception of Iron Hands. But give this team time, and does this team become better than other teams? Because like we got the Nasty Plot Rotom, we got the Iron Hands set up. The Gudra does acid armor, body press, and we got Swords Dance on Mimikyu. Can this team get there? I just wish it had a better screen setter than Impidimp, you know?
I think this team has an issue where a lot of it, pretty much all of it, is relatively specially focused, with the exception of Rotom, Gudra. Because I mean, Zoroark and Masquerade, fine, but those aren't coming every game.
Are you saying it's physically focused?
Right. Yeah. Did I say specially focused? I meant the other of that.
Yeah.
We'll cut that at the end.
If this is a team that's super weak to Intimidate cycling, which I'm not sure how many teams before I can support that, but it's really easy to just kind of shut down this team offensively if you're able to get the repeated Intimidates off into it. And there's not much that can really dissuade you from doing that. There's no, what's the word? Defiant. There's no competitive. Obviously, this team, I still think this team's great. Don't get me wrong. And like, for example, Iron Hands doesn't even need to go use its physical attack. It can use Iron Defense Body Press and obliterate you. And it doesn't matter how many times you get intimidated. But just something to think about that I think is will be tough for this team to manage.
Yeah, Iron Hands can't say enough good things, but I think we've snuffed out, some concerns. Now, we're not grading the coach here. Farrah could do a great job with this team, but I think that the supports are kind of suspect in some cases, and not just because Amoonguss is one of them. But I think if we can't really count on the supports to be overall good Pokemon, then we count on the offense coming from just a few places most weeks. So I think that this team's going to end up somewhere in the middle for me.
Is anyone afraid of Zoroark here?
I think Zoroark's good.
This is a great Zoroark team.
I was going to say that. I agree.
It doesn't have that many immunities.
Can you explain your perspective on that?
Yeah, I'm not.
So, like, Zoroark is best when it can disguise itself as something that isn't threatening, right? So, like, if I lead Impidimp Iron Hands and suddenly you get hit with the actual fastest thing on my team, with some sort of Dark Pulse or something, I think that's kind of scary. I think if you're trying to cycle Intimidates on Iron Hands, I think if you Nasty Plot on Rotom and then you suddenly get hit with a Flamethrower, that's kind of scary. I think Zoroark specifically being the fastest thing on the team is why I like to single it out here.
That's fair. Yeah, so we have a very good Trick Room end. We got to praise that, and we got it like the Mimikyu is an excellent Trick Room setter with the Amoonguss too, and and we have enough bulk that we don't have to be that concerned about going a second. So I think this team definitely gives you options. I just would have wished for more premium support or more fast, aggressive front end.
Yeah, one last thing to note about that Zoroark, which is a nice call out by Colby. I hadn't really thought about that. This team is one of the few that I've seen with a net psychic weakness. Yeah. Lots of juicy Zoroark targets to draw.
Three of the top
Psychic shots, right? And like the ones that are weak to Psychic, Iron Hands, Amoonguss, Paldea, and Tauros, you're going to want to bring those, and that's an easy fake out or illusion from Zoroark.
Yeah, it's kind of unusual.
Yeah, I feel like we'll be seeing a lot of Impidimp on this team. I think it likes bringing that mon as a low tier.
Yeah, Impidimp's kind of decent. All right. Onwards, Boca Raton Bellibolts. This doesn't look like your first draft, Colby. So you're new to the league, but you're not new to draft, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna not talk about this.
Good.
And I'm gonna let you guys talk about it until you guys are ready for me to talk about it.
Who's got a thought? Who was peering while I was dealing with technicals?
So I've got a thought as the other Wo-Chien drafter amongst us. I think this team kind of went in a different direction than I did. I focused on just absolutely bulking out and making sure my team never dies. But based on what I see, Colby, we have Salamence, Iron Moth, Scizor, which are incredibly just threatening, like immediate. You mess up against this, you're instantly dead kind of mons. And you have some other good options to support those. So it's definitely more of an offensive take on the Wo-Chien team that I have. And I like that. You have the setup threats with Poltegeist and Cloyster for the Shell Smash on both of those. That's obviously super threatening, and you have to play around that. And the Wo-Chien here supports them in Shell Smashing because, Poltegeist really weak to Sucker Punch with a Shell Smash. If you don't run Whiter, but you're probably going to die to anything. Mm-hmm. But with a Whiter, with a Tablet of Ruin, you're probably going to live, I don't know if I'd say most, but a lot of Sucker Punches and a lot of priority. So it's definitely looking to capitalize more on the offense than the just typical, I'm going to put Leech Seed on everything and kill you in 15,000 turns. So that's my deal.
Right.
Yeah, so it buys a turn or two with the Wo-Chien dropping everyone's attack, and then you set up, and that's good. So I can buy that, and you definitely praise the immediate offensive numbers out of the gate are good.
Yeah, I also like that, when you have Wo-Chien on the field as a centerpiece, it does lower the attack of all Pokemon, including your own. I like that you went in a special-oriented direction. We're seeing a lot of powerful special attackers. That Moth is going to do work. Salamence can run a special option. You've got Poltergeist as a really potent special attacker. So you definitely grab some really strong threats to share the field with that Wo-Chien without being limited themselves.
Right, and
Bellibolt in round 3 was kind of interesting to me. I'd like to hear a little bit about that.
Okay, that's
the mascot.
That's where
I think Bellibolt. No, I'll say
kind of good.
I think Bellibolt is awesome. It is so bulky, and considering that most earthquakes are physical, all earthquakes are physical. Duh. That's a perfect pair with chills. That's it.
So the Bellibolt. I was talking a lot with Pancakes. Pancakes is my friend. We draft. We talk strategies. That pick was either going to be Glamora, Skeledirge, or Bellibolt. And I talked a long time because Glamora and Skeledirge are the correct choices for that pick.
Yeah, the other two would have been better. But you got to go for the mascot. It's never a bad choice. Right. Yeah.
And also, there is something that Bellibolt does for Wo-Chien that I don't think anyone's picked up on, and I'm spilling all of my strats. I don't even care. Wo-Chien's weakness is that he commits your Terra. Right? You really need to Terra your Wo-Chien. But what if he was just a water type because I soaked him?
Very smart.
There are soak strats for the Wo-Chien and for the Scizor, and kind of for the Iron Moth, coming out of Bellibolt. Bellibolt is actually a premier screen setter, because if I lead Bellibolt Iron Moth, I know that you're hitting the Iron Moth, so I can just protect that and screens with the Bellibolt, or I could not.
I'm gonna hit Earthquake, just so you know, in that circumstance. Yeah.
Sure.
I'll praise the Fungus as a quality support. I really think it's like one of the best baby support mons out there, and lots of mons that are gonna enjoy the mon.
Yeah, he's got two.
And Morgrim as another premium. So I'm happy. These feel like an upgrade to the previous team in terms of their supports, and the offensive numbers I'm also happier with. So I'm into it.
I like the Cloyster and the Poltergeist too. I feel like they kind of fill similar roles, but Cloyster can go attack heavy and Poltergeist special attack heavy. I just want to see so many shell smashes out of this team. I'm really
and what hits they can live, right? Poltergeist has the special defense and Cloyster has the defense. So despite the fact that they share the same speed tier, which is kind of weird, they're very different setup threats, and so that's cool. So we have defensive options we like screens, redirection, Wo-Chien slowing everything down, and then we have the ability to take advantage with setup as well as raw numbers. So I think the concept works.
So I've been helping Rich Weep do some mocks against this team, and I'm on the other side of it. The first thought was, I'm like, what am I doing with this team? How do I build something? I get in probably two games in, I'm like, okay, this team can work. There's a lot of things it can do. It just takes some creativity, and I think it can definitely surprise some people.
It's gonna end up in A tier for me.
I agree. Low A tier for me.
Yep.
And next, it's my team, the Virginia Vikavolts. We're going to meet the mic. How do you feel about this team?
Let's see. The Virginia Vikavolts.
So I really love the Garchomp on this team. I think that the Iron Jugulus wants to be the centerpiece, but Garchomp requires so much respect here. The Earthquakes next to the Electros, the Pelipper, the Jugulus are just terrifying. You try to hit it with a Moonblast, and here comes Florges. Same with the Jugulus. There is so much synergy here between the Garchomp and the rest of the team, with the Florges, with the Jugulus. This team feels like it's going to hit you or pivot in terrifying ways.
Yep.
Yeah, totally agree on that. I've seen Jordan run it up with another Garchomp levitating electric type team, and it was fucking terrifying to watch. Thankfully, I wasn't in that league, so I just got to watch him dunk on people. I wasn't the one being dunked. But beyond
Garchomp is the only mon that I have drafted more than once on this team. Everyone is new because, there was no plans. This draft went in lots of different directions.
Right. And kind of go off what you said, Jordan. You talking about making this up as you go. Jazz, what other teams do you see that become a rain team on pick 7? Like,
It was a rain team the whole time. I was just going to use the Klefki rain dance setup, and then the Jugulus and the dry skin Toxicroak.
and then it became a good rain team with Pelipper Floatzel. Holy moly.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
Garchomp is liquidation. Electros is liquidation.
Yeah, I feel like I can speak to the rain portion because this team is like kind of a pseudo version of what I had originally planned to build before we even started drafting because I wanted to like mess around with the board a bit. And Iron Jugulus or Palafin were going to be one of my first 2 picks because I think rain is kind of crazy, and then Iron Jugulus, with booster energy, has one of the fastest tailwinds in the format. You get no accuracy check Hurricanes off of 122 base special attack, which is freaking busted. So, and you get 30% chance to confuse people, and then Garchomp's clicking Earthquakes next to you. They get Klefki who set up screens, and the Electros go bonkers. It's just, I think this is a really well-designed team. Floatzel is just a really good deal for, what was it, like 9 points, I think, for Swift Swim to like outspeed the entire format. Just for free next to Pelipper. And like bulk with Forges. Toxicroak's got Fake Out. There's a lot of options on this team, and I'm a big fan of it. Honestly, I think winning the Weather War can completely. Well, that's probably with any season, but I think Pelipper.
By the way, this isn't even like a rain team. Like it has rain synergies, but like I'll run my fire coverage 1 week. And I'll run,
it's just a nice option.
Yeah.
It's a tough option if your opponent can't deal with it. And like reverse the weather or deal with the weather in the first place. It's just gonna run someone over.
I really like Klefki here too. I mean, I just had a lot of success with Klefki, and I think, there's also a synergy with Garchomp in the sense that it can support it with screens and make it really, really bulky. And it can Magnet Rise with Prankster to avoid taking damage from that Earthquake, which it does not want to be hitting as well.
I love that.
Review my strats.
Cool.
Go.
Yeah, there's all those mons that are like kind of on the frailer side too, that once you put a screen up, all of a sudden they're not quite as frail. They might live that hit that you wouldn't normally expect
I mean,
them to.
Electros is like the perfect abuser of screens. It already has natural bulk,
And no
not to mention the
weaknesses,
fact it has no net weaknesses with Levitate.
And it has every attack in the game.
Yep.
In general, I'm really happy with my move pools. I think there's some jank here, as in like I would have liked to get like if I was doing this just to like win, I would get like the Roaring Moon. I think that was still available at this point. But like I believe in the Jugulus as the really fast Tailwinder as like a good special attacker in a format without a lot of them. And so, I'm really happy with the Florges. I think the Grumpig's going to be surprisingly good, even though I didn't want to take it, but I ended up with it. So, we'll just have to see. I don't think this team is in the top, but you guys tell me what you think.
I like this team. The only thing I would say is when I look at it, I think if I have a Trick Room mode that can survive Lurantis and Leaf Storms, I might have a slightly easier time. But
I got dual imprisoned Trick Rooms.
But slightly is the key word there. There's lots of ways to not have that work out. But that's the only bad thing I have to say about this team. I love everything else on it. This is the kind of team that I would love to have.
It's also very wide, which I like. A lot of these teams went top heavy, but this has
10 mons.
10 mons, yeah, exactly.
Is Lurantis a mon?
Lurantis is a Trick Room.
It's a Pokemon.
It's specifically a Leaf Storm. Its nickname is going to be Leaf Storm. And I mean, it's got decent numbers. So if I need to fight anti-Trick Room, I'll bring it once or twice.
Superpower, right?
Yeah. It no longer does. Very sad.
No?
Yeah.
So sad, right?
If it did, I might call it a mon.
Live bone reaction.
It's got Pollen Puff. Whatever. Point is, there's 9.5 Pokemon on here. I think it'll end up being competitive and fun.
And Litleo's cute.
I think it's a solid team. I might put
look
it
at
in
him.
A tier.
You got a cute mascot there. I love the dog.
The Virginia Litleos next time.
Yeah.
This is going at the bottom of A for me. I like it.
Yeah, I got him. Actually, I got him above Samax right now.
I'm putting this.
I love this team.
Cool.
I'm putting this in the middle of A.
Yep.
Thanks, guys. So we're gonna have to redo Braf's segment. Sorry, but like we're gonna pretend that we didn't have to redo it because only y'all will see how the sausage gets made.
It's movie magic.
All right, you guys got to laugh
Jordan,
at my jokes again. I'm using the same material.
All right, I think everyone can be seen and heard. Braf's team, the Libertyville Luxrays, is a magnificent team, in my opinion, but I don't want to do spoilers. Who's got some early thoughts on this team?
It's magnificent because of Iron Valiant. Suck it, Electric.
Shots fired! We need more rivalry in the VBL-S. I like this. Let's make this something here.
We've got to
Iron
have an actual
Valiant's got
showdown
all the
season.
moves, and then Skeledirge has a million moves, and it mostly just clicks Torch Song and wins anyway.
Yeah, Poppin said that earlier.
I'm writing my script for my little team review. I have an entire section about Skeledirge, how it only needs one move to do anything. And it's so good. It's so accurate. Sukaba, you had Skeledirge last season, and you brought that thing to grand finals, man. And it killed everyone along the way.
Yeah,
the moves next to Torch Song are like the perfect accompaniments, right? The Will-O-Wisp, the Slack Off, the one coverage move or Protect, easy.
The mouse hold also demands respect. Like it'll buff up your Skeledirge, your Gyarados, your Appleton, your Bisharp, but also, like, have you ever tried to calculate like a defensive calc against Technician Pop Bomb? It just kills things that it shouldn't be able to kill. Yeah.
If anything it can threaten to OHKO anything that's it hits neutrally, which is a lot of things as normal type. It's so strong. It's so threatening. And it's like the biggest thing I noticed about it was like you can prep around Population Bomb and then it could literally just not even bring it. It could do like Friend Guard, Super Fang, like Follow Me.
And that's its main thing because there's obvious counters to Mouse Hold, right? It can't run like anything that blocks Intimidate. It needs the wide lens. And like if you run into a Rocky Helmet, you immediately die. If you run into a Terra Ghost, it did nothing. So like you do need mouse hold counters, but the main thing is that it's so good at just being like Friend Guard, Follow Me, Super Fang, Taunt, you know.
Right, it can run kind of two different routes, right? And Iron Valiant, we were saying earlier in the technical difficulty section, somebody brought up you can just run Booster Energy and Icy Wind, right? It can run so many different sets. Goose, I'm just going to re-say what everybody said about Iron Valiant earlier. So Goose was like, well, you kind of want to run attack sets, but not necessarily. I think part of what makes Mousehold so strong is that it's so unpredictable. And I think that we're going to see this season, because two absolute masterminds have drafted Iron Valiant. Okay? So we're going to see out of this Pokemon.
Stay tuned for the special conference power rankings. But this team's got double Intimidate. Stantler lives everything with Intimidate, and the EVLA. Intimidate Gyarados. Can the team beat special attackers? I feel like it's like Eerie Impulse from Raichu, maybe a Light Screen, something like that.
I really like Appleton. You know, Appleton is just a big booty. You cannot kill that thing. That is an end game, not on the Wo-Chien levels, but like you can finish a game with Appleton.
Absolutely.
True. Yeah.
And you also have to remember too is like in drafts, what we've been seeing the last few seasons is most teams end up being skewed towards the physical side anyway offensively, so there's not that many teams out there besides maybe one or two that are going to be like big special problems where they have like 5 special attackers that are all potent. Like most teams are going to have physical threats in the first place, so the fact that he does have answers for that will help him out, I think.
So you're saying as long as they get the Terra right with Appleton, then like Iron Defense is just very easy to accomplish.
Exactly.
It's like the end game win con. Yeah.
Right. And honestly, even if they get the Terra wrong, like another thing I have for my little video, the average base special attack and attack, the average base attack is base 90, average base special attack is base 81. That's a huge jump despite being just 10 base stat points. That's the difference between a 2 and a 3 at KO. And against something with reliable recovery and Leech Seed, you cannot afford to make any mistakes against that. Good point. Even beyond that, Iron Defense Body Press. What are you going to do if it gets the Terra right? Even if it gets the Terra wrong, it can still probably get the job done. And one other thing I wanted to call out is the synergy between Mousehold and Skeledirge. It's kind of like mini Mouse.
Beautiful, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You want to use a Ghost move. Oops. You can just get into Mousehold. You Terra Ghost or Mousehold Terra Ghosts. What are you going to do? There's infinite possibilities. You're going to get it wrong every time.
And Gyarados and Raichu, Sukaba, they go together like
butter on bread.
That's right.
There you go, buddy.
That's right.
It is.
Bring them up.
Yep.
Finish each other's butter bread sandwiches over here.
It's almost like we practiced it.
So
Yeah.
we put it in top tier. Any
Wait.
naysayers?
Can I say one
naysayers?
thing? One thing real quick. What letter does Skrelp start with?
S tier.
For me, this is going to be a top of A, but
Yeah,
I'm being
same.
a stickler this year. I'm not. You have to earn an S tier ranking from me. So it's a good team. It's really good. I love it.
Yeah.
Cool. Onwards. The Anchorage Alakazams. This is a new team, and this is Bohm's friend. So they got advice from a veteran coach, but like this is a concept of a team. We got hardcore sun mode, we got a hail mode, we got trick room mode. So it's like intense upon certain cores, and I think that was your idea, Bohm, is to give him certain things that are like, this makes sense, I can use this pretty easily.
Yeah, I just wanted him to have something that would kind of be a good introduction, whether he wins or loses games. It's something that he can actually like take and see little synergies and kind of build upon them. So, I mean, He's got Torkoal Rangaroo, Torkoal Liligan. He's got Sandy Shocks Rangaroo with Symbiosis, and Symbiosis. And it's a lot of things he can put together and possibly make a team. He's thinking about things now. He's getting a little more creative, whether that's good or bad. But I think it's definitely an easier team to try to pilot, but at the same time, it's going to be an easier team to try to counter too. But I think it's definitely a good team for a beginner to try to play around with a little bit.
Yeah,
there's definitely common weaknesses, right? That's what happens when you have 3 grass types. But like the Lilycole combo is like it keeps getting better. And like in my estimation of it, in Draft League, like there's just no ways to reliably beat it if you're using interesting items on Lilligant. Yeah.
I also think
Prankster Weather I think is a pretty good way to shut it down, right?
Yeah.
Like I think there's not that many of them.
There's like 3 of them.
No.
Yeah.
But there's enough that can throw you off, and that's something I keep trying to remind him of.
It's also specifically rain or sand, because you can't just set hail, right?
Yeah.
I really like the Flare and Leafeon picks here. They seem like a lot of value for real attackers in the Sun mode, or the Trick Room mode, kind of. Yeah, right. I think it's a good
value.
So can we go fast without chlorophyll, or without a speed, like a weather speed thing?
Sandy Shocks.
Sandy Shocks with a drought protosynthesis. That's going to be the main mode there.
Yeah. Photosynthesis. Any way you're activating photosynthesis and Sandy Shocks is pretty nice. You can obviously have the Oranguru combo with Symbiosis, like we talked about with some other team earlier. I think it was Sam's with the Roaring Moon. Photosynthesis, get your booster energy off. Oh, here's a free choice specs. Let me just annihilate everything. Sandy Shocks with electric ground coverage is incredible with that really high special attack. It's one of the hardest attackers to switch into. Obviously, grass type kind of shits all over it. Terra Bug, Terra Blast.
That's why I like it on the Sun mode too, right? Beating grass types pretty hard.
Yeah.
So I think so what you don't want is for someone to click Rain Dance and for you to immediately like fall apart as a game plan. And so I think this team needs to use its choice scarfs well. It needs to use like random like T waves and to make sure that it can keep going first even if it's not in the right weather.
Yeah. Right. Also, I think it'll be important to position. Don't be afraid to position the weather setters in the back so you can kind of get a read on how the game is going so far. If they want to set up weather themselves, you can kind of hold it for a better time instead of just going all out at the beginning and then getting countered. Like, I think Abomasnow has never been better in a gen that has Terra available, because the main knock on Abomasnow is its typing is really bad.
Right.
But you can make this thing like a steel type or a fire type and it just becomes really good. So I think I really like the options it has. It's going to need some expert piloting to reach its true potential. But I think
that isn't what Bone was going for. Yeah, no,
listen.
I get what you said.
What I'm saying is, like, to reach its full potential, I think it needs expert play. But as a beginner mode, it does have a lot of combos that are easy to understand and to use.
So beginners also kind of play more creatively a lot of the time. That's what I've noticed in Draft League. You know what I mean? So maybe he's going to have like interesting takes, doing different stuff with this team that we might not expect, which could work in drafts. It's
and even if it doesn't maximize its potential, it certainly lends itself to beginner use. I think that's kind of my point.
Yeah, welcome to the league. We love whatever you come up with, and obviously, like, if you have a Torkoal and a Trick Room, like you usually end up winning. Like, a lot of the time, like, it's pretty hard to stop the eruption. I would really. You got good stuff here. So I think for me, this team is in the top of B. I don't think it quite reaches the best teams, but I think it's good. Definitely useful.
I think this team has a really low floor, like a skill floor. Like, you have the bread butter combos, but it has that potential that's super. It can go crazy with these combos if you play flexibly. It can get some serious damage done.
We didn't even mention Gallade either, which I think is really good.
I don't want to talk about Gallade for a hot second.
Gallade needs the speed control though, so it's amazing with the sharpness boost. But but you got to be going first. Where's our Tailwind?
True. Yeah.
That's my concern.
There's gravity, Sandy Shocks things. There's sleep powder. There's hypnosis floating around. There's blizzards.
That could be fun. Yeah.
There's a lot of good
Lots of
stuff
imagination
going
possibilities here. I love the Oranguru, my favorite draft mod. Onwards. Hey, Casey, welcome back. Casey was off last season, and now he's back. and he started with Indeedee Armor Rouge, which is great. Is it good in draft? Do you just Terra Dark? What's the?
I don't think Terra Dark is a sufficient answer to that.
If it forces you to Terra Dark, I think it's already done.
I think that's fine. Exactly.
Right.
I agree.
Terra Dark into a team with Hawlucha and Palmot is, I don't know, man. Getting a little wild with that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Scary.
I mean, to be fair though, the Dark does look great into this team. I will say. I mean,
yeah. Other than those two,
you also got Miss Drevis and Dragapult, which do not want a Dark type coming at it, and they really don't have a good way to hit it. So it's certainly a good option.
No, man. I think Palmot is fast enough to the point, and it has a high enough attack stat and good stab options. I think it can cover for that. But again, you have to predict, right? If you just see 2 months with Terra Dark, shit, I'm losing. One of them's gonna get me. You can't predict right all the time.
Yeah.
I also like.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry. No,
you got it.
Finish, King.
All right. Thanks, man. I really, really like the Tinkaton pickup here.
Yeah.
I know Bohm is a Tinkaton believer. I would have picked it round 2 last season if you hadn't got it round 1.
A little less now, but
but I think it has a lot of flexibility here on this team. Palmot really wants all the move slots it can. It can have you need your electric move, your fighting move, fake out, +1, which you want to be Revival Blessing. You don't want to waste fake out on that thing. Tinkaton covers it up with great type synergy with the rest of this team. It's Fairy Steel, best typing in the game. I don't think
perfect here for covering up the team's otherwise weaknesses. Yeah, Tinkaton's a fantastic support Pokemon. So I love that pickup by KC. Yeah, so in a priorityless environment that Indeedee can set up, this team's got a lot of speed, and so this team's going to be able to play aggressive with the Palmot, with the Dragapults. So I feel pretty good about that. The lack of typing synergy is my main problem.
The Armor Rouge and the Hawlucha kind of cover for each other a little bit, though. And Jordan, I think it's you, right? Hawlucha's your favorite Pokemon.
No, I don't believe in it at all. It doesn't even have coaching anymore.
There's Unburden Psychic Seed things going on.
Well, yes, but like, what's Hawlucha doing? Like,
I'm not a Hawlucha believer, by the way. I'm sorry, I didn't make that clear.
Yeah.
It's just not strong enough. I feel like that's his problem.
But he has Indeedee, right? Which
Indeedee F's Follow Me Sword Stance. I think it could be good in that circumstance, and maybe with Dragapult screens. Yeah.
Can we talk about this Dragapult? What's it doing here?
Screens?
That's a good question. I don't think anybody's figured that out.
I see like surf weakness policy things into Armor Rouge and Mudsdale. I see screens or like hex things. I'm a little confused. Like the Dragapult's a really nice fastest thing. I like looking at what is the fastest thing on the team. I don't know, like we all see like this Dragapult with Choice Band floating around in top regionals right now. I don't know if this team needs that. Or I don't know if this team really is supported that well with the Choice Band Dragapult.
Maybe not. So I think Dragapult's place when it can't just max Airstream it in this new generation is a little bit amorphous, but the move pool is undeniable. So I think people need to show us what Dragapult's like if it can really be like a top tier still. But I think there's some great supports. I think there's some great general speed. Yes, there are some familiar ways to beat up this team, but I think it's pretty good. Why am I hesitant, though? I think some of these mods at the bottom are bad. So I'm considering this an 8-mon team, and Hawlucha is one of the 8. Gross.
I think I will say,
real quick on Dragapult. After using it last season, I think it's consistent at being sort of unpredictable for your opponent to prep, right? We mentioned that it can run Choice Band Dragon Darts, but it can also run a support set, and that speed tier is just phenomenal, right? There's nothing else that matches that outside of chlorophyll abilities like that. So was Dragapult maybe a little overpriced at 16 or whatever it was? Maybe, but it is a phenomenal draft mod in my opinion.
Yeah, there's 2 other things I want to call attention to, just kind of last on this team. And that's Tropius and Mudsdale, the bulkiest things on this team. I think Mudsdale is the best draft mon of all time. It's always decently priced. It is unbelievable. It has a crazy base stat of 500. They're perfectly distributed.
Great
it can do
abilities.
Whatever it wants. Great abilities, right. There's not enough
4 ground immunities on this team is a great team context for it, too.
Right, and that goes on to the next thing of Tropius, who is a nice, slow, inevitable kind of threat that a lot of teams would like to have. And for 4 points, it's probably the best you could do for that amount of points. The Leech Seed Harvest set is so frustrating to deal with. It's mini Wo-Chien. But it's Wo-Chien in the same fact that you have to Terra it. But if you make it to that endgame situation, you still have it. That's pretty much a guaranteed game win if you can get that situation set up.
Yeah, to add to this team, I mean, I'm a little concerned about how frail a lot of its mons are that it wants to be bringing all the time. Like, Indeedee Armarouge are not inherently bulky Pokemon on their own. Outside of the Mudsdale and the Tinkaton, I think it's very lacking in the bulk department. I know you could run Eviolite on Mischievous, which can make it kind of bulky, but I'm a little concerned that it's going to die really easily.
I'm a big Mischievous fan. It is bulky as hell.
All right, so we figured out Dragapult's role is to set screens. Will-O-Wisp.
Yeah.
That's gotta be
Make the team bulkier.
Yeah, I think that makes sense.
So yeah, as y'all are giving me more info, I'm pretty up on the team. Like, it's not the best one, but like I'm pretty happy with all these teams, and so I think this team is better than a few that we've ranked already. So good job, Casey. Onwards to Pancakes, second to last here of this video here. We have an Annihilate. Annihilate's really good. It's not quite as insane as I was maybe predicting it was on day one, but it's really, really, really good, and as long as you can protect the Annihilate with screens, and now I scan the team frantically looking for a great screen setter. Okay, well, so we have Volcarona, right? So you have to hit me and then you get burned for it. Volcarona is an amazing draft mon, and like we have one good physical attacker, and then we have a great special attacker and another huge physical attacker in King Gambit. So is offense this team's best aspect?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
This team is, I wouldn't say it's the face of hyper offense, but that's essentially what it kind of works out to be. Annihilate Volcarona, Volcarona King Gambit, Volcarona Crook, all great. You can draw to the Will-O-Wisps. You don't got to worry about it. Easy. But beyond that, it gets a little shakier. How do you deal with Intimidate? You got, well, actually, no, never mind. 2 months.
Double Defiant?
What am I talking about? Sorry, the drinks are talking there. So this team, reflect. That's how you deal with it.
Iron defense. Sure.
Okay, so I helped Pancakes draft this team. I know a lot of stuff about this. I'm not going to reveal all the sauce because there's sauce here, and I'll spill my own.
We know
sauce,
that there's Frost Breath onto Anger Point Crocodile. We know.
Yeah, but that's just the start of it. He 2-0'd another team in our last draft with that combo, and Cryogonal Crocodile does it the best. But so Jolteon, we noticed Jolteon was the third pick here because both Chien-Pao and Fluttermane were in the other conference. And everything else, and even so is Roaring Moon. So Jolteon is the fastest thing here, and a max speed Jolteon is just faster than Scarf Annihilate for pin missiles. So you can do
okay, that's cute. I love that. No, Jolteon is an unqualified good mod. Like one of the, especially as you noted that in this context is one of the fastest. Yeah, a big fan for sure.
There is Rabska to bring back the Annihilate, or to help bring back things for the King Gambit. The Rabska does a lot of really cool things here. Like the telepathy with the crocodile is really awesome to kind of go along with the cryogonal Frost Breath stuff.
We have eco partners, but the problem is like this is a team pretty weak to ground in general. And like when you factor in Terra, like a lot of the good Terra types are also weak to ground, like Steel and Fire and Electric. So like it's just very difficult not to end up with a ground weakness right now. And so like that was something I really focused on with my 2 flying Pokemon. But like this is a team that's gonna like get beat up by ground moves. Like Cryogonal doesn't really save you, right? That same mon clicking Earthquake will OHKO the Cryogonal with a Rock Slide. So like it's a like I kind of see the problems here. We got Rock Slides for Volk and Cryogonal. We got Earthquakes for nearly everyone else. So I see the problems here, but I do believe in the tech. I'm of course not grading the coach. Could do amazing things with the team.
Yeah, there's cute things floating around this team. I don't know what he's doing with Cyclozar yet, but he's a Cyclozar.
Cyclozar's doing nothing. Drop Cyclozar, in my opinion.
Shed Tail Breaking Swipe, baby.
Shed Tail, and then you get hit, and then you didn't do anything.
So if nobody believes in Cyclozar, why don't we move it down the tier list, right?
I moved it down, but I still I don't care about the prices. I don't want it on my team. So anyway, Queen's Majesty, it's going to end up somewhere in the middle for me. Among the teams we've ranked, maybe lower, but certainly tech. Like I'm a believer in the Rapska's got a million moves. So we'll see. And I love the Volcarona, and I still believe in you, Annihilate. Show me your top tier. You should.
If there's anyone that can show you Annihilate is top tier, it's Pancakes.
Hell yeah. Okay, welcome to the Elite Pancakes. Finally, we have the reigning conference champion, and Sukaba's on the call. Would you like to tell us why you have an amazing team, or would you like us to tell you?
I'm just gonna chill.
Okay. So
Dope.
You guys
Who
chat
wants to
about
start us off?
Iggly
Great
buff.
Tusk is fucking cracked. Great Tusk is the best physical offensive mod in the format. Full stop. Headlong rush, close combat, 130 base attack with 87 speed is amazing. Oh, Sukaba also got Talonflame, Great Tusk's BFF.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do?
He also got Baxcalibur, which is the thing that speed ties with Great Tusk, which is really annoying when you're in that mirror match. But when you have them together, you get to just like have your speeds make a lot of sense together. The Great Tusk and the Baxcalibur with the Glamora, who's also right there at the same speed. Like, if Sukaba can get his speed control correct, then all of his guys just hit that same benchmark.
Yeah, like you can we have a little bit of speed clumping and we can jump over that, but like who cares if you've got Sableye? Like, so it's like Sableye ignores all the rules and just makes sure that these mods get to go first. I love that.
And Talonflame,
mod
right?
of all time.
Same thing. Yeah, those top 7 or 8 mods are just incredible together.
And like this team can also play bulky. Like the explosiveness is something that Sukaba's playing with after going a really bulky team last season. But like you can set screens with Sableye, and like Tusk and Baxcalibur have pretty good numbers like on the defensive side too. So it's like you can click Will-O-Wisps and make sure that they just don't die. And so I think this team like is underrated defensive capabilities as well.
Any chili reception Baxcalibur thoughts?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Oh, he's got those thoughts. They're dirty thoughts.
They're in there.
Hail setting into Baxcalibur. I love that. And so we got a fairly strong Trick Room mode. Slowking, everybody loves Slowking on this chat. And Kaparaja can do it. Give it the right conditions and it can do it. Miss Mages is bad. Just telling you. I'm just letting you down easy. It's bad. Just don't take it. But we got like 9 mons here. I even believe in the electric. You convinced me here.
Yeah.
With EVLA, can do it.
I'll tell you what mod I believe in. I believe in Sazba. That is, it's very mid on paper, right? But anything with Serene Grace and Headbutt and Stomp and Body Slam, you're gonna make your opponents like hell if you have speed control because they'll just never get the move, and you'll win that way.
And it has chlorophyll.
Right. You could do custom Sableye, throw up your Prankster Sun with your Great Tusk, switch in Sawsbuck. Does Sawsbuck get what's that physical sun attack?
Solar Blade?
Does it get Solar Blade?
I don't know. I'm just telling you.
That's a tough one.
Dude, I didn't even know Sawsbuck was a Pokemon until he drafted it.
Gen 5, baby.
Wait, which form of Sawsbuck are you planning on using?
I'm
That's a
planning
good
on
question.
mixing it up. I like the summer. I like a little bit of the spring. The fall, the winter and autumn forms are a little weird, but I'm gonna give them some love. I gotta spread it out.
If you bring Chlorophyll Sawsbuck, you have to do Winter Form just to psych him out in Team Preview.
Oh, mind games.
That's
Cut
big.
this out so we don't get
I'm gonna take note of that.
Can we go back to the Miss Magus? First of all, I watched your video. I love the trades for the Rotom and the Pyroar for these guys. Miss Magus has 105 base speed. That's awesome.
It dies to a Sucker Punch.
Yeah, so does a lot of things. So doesn't Fluttermane do that too?
It's Fluttermane without any of the upsides.
You're right. We should all tell everyone running Fluttermane that they're bad.
I mean, it's also 6 points instead of 21 points, though.
The difference between 105 and 135 is a lot of matchups. The difference between 105 attack and 135 is a lot of Okos versus 2K KOs. I promise, in practice, it really is a big difference.
Sukaba and I talked about his transaction a little bit, and I was really feeling Rotom Frost for this team.
I liked both of you. I like that we could see. Yeah, he said we had a Pyroar and a Rotom, and they were both reasonable. I think either way, you ended up with good options to complement great options.
Yeah, I feel like I would have made it really top heavy, but it's already pretty top heavy. I don't know. Poppin believes in Sawsbuck, and I know Sukaba does too, so maybe I'm wrong.
Lamore, a huge threat with speed control. Yeah, like a ton of offense,
so good.
underratedly great defense, and good support, amazing support. So like this ends up in top tier, right?
Oh yeah, it's definitely top tier team.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so I'm scrolling over. I've got 2 top tier teams, and I've got no bad teams. Good job, my division. Now please don't beat me.
I have this above
Jordan,
Sam.
what Florges are you using?
The blue one. I don't know. No, I think I like the pink. I think I like the OG Florges. But anyway, yeah, gentlemen's no weather, Sukaba, right? We'll just not bring weather. It'll be great.
Fair enough. I like it.
No, I'm just gonna bring.
Gentlemen's
I'm gonna
agreement.
bring like 5 flamethrowers on my team. Wait, but now I can't do that because I've just told you I'm gonna do that. Okay,
See,
whatever.
no, you
cut
just
it.
planted the seed. I see what you're trying to do here. I'm not gonna fall.
I don't know which direction I'm going yet. I'm not playing for our game.
Oh, I haven't even looked at the matchup yet.
It's fine.
We're chilling.
Good job, Division. Good job, Drafters. Stay hyped. Season 9 Draft League content coming. On multiple of these guys, I'm going to post some of their info in the description. Bye, everybody.
Bye bye.